Hello there. Welcome to Lambton House in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Today is Friday, October the 12th, 2018. I'm Howard Paulshore, and with me I have Madeline. Madeline, thank you for inviting me to this very nice prehistoric house.
Now, this hotel was built in 1860. The license was from 1847, but this building dates from 1860. It's the only remaining public building on the Lower Humber from the milling era. And this is the original entry here. The transom and side lights and millwork are all original. The door is a 1993 reproduction. And the road came right up to the foot of the steps, and the plinths on either side of the steps are an extension of the veranda, and they're the same height as the stirrup on a horse. So you could walk out and just step onto your horse, or push off on a bicycle.
Wow. Let's go inside. Smells good in here. Yeah.
That's the roast beef. Now, this is the original hallway, and the travelers would come in here and go into the waiting room for the ladies and children and other travelers. That side was the men's beverage room. And women did not go into a men's beverage room in Ontario until 1968. It was illegal.
Oh, okay.
And it wasn't a $10 fine, it was you go to jail.
Whoa.
So we changed the law. Now, we can just step into the...
Sure, let's go.
In here.
Check it out.
It did not have posh furniture like this. It had wooden benches, sort of like church pews. And the fireplace was this source of heat.
Yes, please. Okay, and do you want a sesame seed or a plain one? Sesame seed.
It was they had stoves in the fireplaces, and it was coal heat, and we have the coal scuttle with in it here. And these mantles were made in quite recently, about 5 years ago, with drawings by George Duncan, who was a heritage officer in Markham, and past president of the York Pioneers Historical Society, and the man who executed them from the original drawings was a member of the Watermill Association of Canada. And this is historic lumber because the 2-inch board now is 1 3/4 inches thick. So we had to buy wood that was milled in the 1850s, 1860s to get the 2-inch boards for him. And this is a portrait of John George Lambton, first Earl of Durham. This area was named after him by William Pierce Howland, who was the man that owned this building. It was built by Tyrrell for Howland. Lambton was the one who recommended responsible government, which is the form of government we have now, not in 1842, from his report, which is why.
Ladies,
thanks right here.
how are you? Thank you very well, thanks, Margot.
So, where are we going to go now?
And we're going across to check out the men's beverage room.
Okay.
Get your drinks first.
As I said, women were not allowed to enter here until 1968. It's getting started now.
I see, they're starting a band, yes. Okay.
It's we can't compete.
You can talk out here about it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, the windows, all of the windows here, and the side lights, those are original.
Okay.
The sashes are from 1860. The glass was replaced in 1993 with historic glass because along the way the glass had gotten removed and broken and whatever, and we put in new mullions and glass from the 1870s, 1880s.
Okay.
And we're going to go upstairs.
be a little quieter up there, huh?
Yeah. These are the original stairs.
Wow.
They're red pine. As you go up into Lambton Park, you will find red pine trees that are the cousins or sisters of these stairs. The landing, if you put your hand on the newel post, you can feel as you walk by it that the way the floor is worn from hundreds and thousands of people walking on it over the last 150 years. Now, there were 5 travelers' rooms. The white painted doors are original from 1860. The varnished ones, like this one, are 2003 reproductions. You see?
Okay.
These 5 travelers' rooms accommodated 25 to 28 people overnight. There were beds this size. This is a big bed. This is a 40-inch wide bed. It's a rope bed with a straw mattress from the late 1850s, early 1860s. And you, in a house class of hotel like this, you didn't rent a room for the night, you rented a bed for the night. And you would rent half this bed, and somebody else would rent the other half. And you didn't necessarily know each other in advance, and you slept head to toe, and it was cold up here at night because there was no heat. And there'd be three or four more cots in the room. This little bench at the end of the hall here.
Okay.
This is original also. Okay. You were not allowed to take your boots into the room. Boots are dirty, and they didn't want the muck from outdoors being trapped. So you sat here and you took your boots off and you left them in the hall and then you went into the room. This room is almost entirely original fabric. We've got the original floor. Linoleum came on the market in 1860, so you can see where the linoleum was in the painted floor. We've got the lath and plaster, the grey coat with the horsehair binder, and the gypsum skim coat and the various layers of paint. We matched the blue here, and the rose is matched in some of the other rooms. These are pennies from the 1850s and early 1860s from the Bank of Upper Canada. This is coinage that would have been used here.
It's quite an old collection.
Yeah, and that little dram glass, that's like a whiskey shot glass from the 1860s, 1870s. Pewter plates and other plates and glassware. These two chairs are 1840s, 1850s. This one has been stripped. This has got the original paint on it.
Wow.
Now these were made using a draw knife and the sort of tools that they used for fine work. And if you feel these spindles, they're not quite perfectly round because they were made by drawing a scraper towards yourself to shape them. And these door panels and doors would have been made the same way and then assembled. They were highly skilled workers. There's a pair of glasses in there with the glass case. Those eyeglasses are from the 1850s, early 1860s.
Okay.
The glasses are not that rare, but with the original case, it's quite unusual. And the scissors are about the same vintage, and they're very pretty. They're handmade by a skilled craftsman. And the test for a good pair of scissors is you take a thread and pull it straight, and then you take the scissors and go snip, and it drops off. They still do. They're very well made. And this is the sort of lamp that they used here mostly. And then there's a whale oil lamp and candlesticks from the 1850s and some other box planes. These belong to a Mr. Stevenson, who was a local cabinet maker.
Okay.
And his son, who was substantially older than me, gave these to us. And he worked around this area. These two are not Mr. Stevenson's, but what is interesting about them is the profile that they cut is the same profile as a lot of the woodwork downstairs. And the blanket in the bottom, there was a woolen mill that produced blankets for the British Army up until 1905, and then there was the saw and grist mill that also operated here. These chairs are 1870s. This lamp does not have a chimney on it. It needs one, but this is the sort of lamp that they would have used. Coal oil, and it's on a gimbal so that it can be adjusted to light either way. And this is our heating and cooling unit for the second floor. And this is the balcony.
Very nice.
And this, the people who were staying here could come out and sit on the balcony or stand and look at things. People were shorter in those days. This was the actual height of the railing. The original veranda was attached here, and it was a straight walk out.
Okay.
But when we did the restoration work in 1993, Edwin Rouse, who was our architect, said, people are taller now, drop it a foot. And so our heads would be up there. So, yes. And this sawtooth brickwork is a feature of William Tyrrell, who was the architect engineer that built the place. And off in the distance, you see the ridge of trees there.
Yep.
That is Bobby Point. And the Aboriginal or First Nations village of Taiyagon was there in 1600s. When LaSalle went up the Toronto Carrying Place, which runs across the end of that and across what is now Dundas Street up to Lake Simcoe, he used that route when he was on his way to Mississippi in 1680. Okay. Now, remember I said the road came right up to the foot of the steps?
Yes.
And the plinths on either side, that's level with the curb on a horse.
Yes.
So you could get on that and step right onto your horse as opposed to having to do that.
Very nice. Great.
Okay.
Perfect. Well, I want to thank you very much for this fantastic detailed tour of the Lambton House. And anyone's coming to visit Lambton House, you're more than welcome to. You can check their website to find out when they're open. I'm Howard Paul Shore. Madeline, thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Come and visit. Have a great day. Bye-bye.